Hey guys, welcome back. How's it going? Today we'll be taking a look at a pretty interesting board, the ACR Pro Atlas Plus by Akko. And before we even start out, I have to say this. The board is pretty damn nice. Now this board isn't perfect and you might need to apply a few mods to get the most out of it, but damn does it offer a lot for the price of just 130 US dollars for the fully built version and $99 for the bare bones version. So with all that said, let's get into the unboxing. When you open the box, you are greeted by a user manual which is actually quite helpful. It contains some information about the building process, the RGB hotkeys, which is pretty handy to have. When you open the smaller box at the bottom, you get to see a few extra half gaskets. I'm not sure what you call these, but they're supposed to make the board flex a little bit more, which we'll get into a little later in the video. You also get this coiled cable, and to be honest, the cable is not great. It's just not. It does not hold its shape well at all. It came with these weird black smudges which won't go off no matter what I do. It had this rubber coating that feels cheap to the touch, and I would much rather just have a normal braided USB-C cable like something you can get with the GK61. You also get an extra daughter board, switch and keycap puller, and a few extra keycaps. Never mind, a lot of extra keycaps. These extra keycaps with the keycaps already on the board complete a whole 109 keycap set, which to see at this price point is pretty ridiculous. Then there are these goofy ass keyboard riser things which I don't know who is this meant for, so yeah. Now onto the board itself. The board looks pretty nice in my opinion, and the board is made of CNC acrylic, so the case is spray painted white or black depending on the color you decide to pick up. Before I ordered the board, I was not exactly sure of the quality of the spray paint because I was used to dealing with analyzed boards and I thought this might be poorer in terms of finish and quality, but the paint turned out really nice. One thing to keep in mind is to be gentle with the board and make sure you don't scrape it against something. This might seem completely random, but when I was moving my Q1 around, it ended up scratching against the front lip of my board, and now I have this visible scratch right in front of the board. It isn't too bad, but just keep in mind to be gentle. Although the board is made of acrylic, which is a pretty light material in general, the board has a nice heft to it. This is because of the aluminum bait at the back, which features this really cute art, which helps to give a little bit more personality to this otherwise boring looking keyboard. Depending upon the color you pick, you also get different keycaps with your board. I have the ASA blue and white keycap set with me, and I have to say, this keycap set is quite nice. It's quite a lot taller compared to your regular cherry profile keycaps, which helps give the board a deeper tone. If you are going the pre-built route, you also get to choose between two switches, the Akko Clears and the Akko Speed Silvers. I have the Akko crystals with me, and these switches are pretty nice, pretty standard. They have a 4 mm travel distance and the entire switch is made out of polycarbonate, which gives the switch more of a muted sound when you put it along with a PC plate. The smoothness of these switches is somewhere similar to the Gatron Pro Yellows, but if you listen to it very closely, you can hear a little bit of scratch. I would not say lubing is a must, but it does not hurt. But filming is not required, like at all. The tolerances on these are great. You could also go with the Speed Silvers, which follow your usual PC top, nylon bottom and palm stem, but I don't have these, so I won't be talking about them too much. So that was a stock sound test, and if I'm being completely honest, it was a little underwhelming. It wasn't bad, but it definitely could use some case foam to get rid of the hollowness. Overall, the stock configuration of the board seems pretty muted. Some tape on the back of the board would really add a little bit of life to it. On the other hand, the typing experience was great. The PC plate, along with this unique implementation of the gasket mount, in which instead of the gasket being squished, the plate is actually being bent because of this force. You could also try using the half gasket jacket, which makes the board a little bit more flexy but nothing really crazy. One thing to keep in mind is that if you decide to add the provided bottom case foam, you will be left with absolutely zero flex, like it will become extremely stiff. So if you want to reduce the hollowness as well as want to keep a little bit of that flex, you should try using something like polyfill. You also get this extra pre-cut tape in the box, but this is just way too thin to make any difference. It is also extremely short in terms of length and breadth, so it does not even cover the outer areas of the board. So get some masking tape from your sister's art box and you're good to go. Included, you also get Akko's new plate mounted stabs, and these are pretty damn nice. There was no audible rattle or taking from the stabs whatsoever. The lubing was a little bit inconsistent, so I took them off and reloaded them, which is extremely easy. All you have to do is push this little tab and your stab is out. You also don't need to disassemble the entire board to get the stabs out because these are plate mounted and not PCB mounted. Usually in the case of plate mount stabs, the housing does not sit flush with the plate, so you need to do the band-aid mod and all. But these are like really tight, so there's absolutely no room for wiggling or anything. First of all, the sound coming from the board is just a tad bit muted, so I put 3 layers of tape to get more of that PCB sound. I also put some polyfill in just to dial down the hollowness of the board without really impacting the feel. You could also add some PE foam in between of the plate and the PCB to get that signature marbly slash poppy sound, but for now I'm not gonna leave that out. For switches, I would recommend using some switch that is a little louder, a little out there, just to cancel out the muted sound profile of this board. So I'm going with the Gatron box black inks, but you could use any switch, preferably a long pole.